The DNVR Avalanche pregame show from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. We got Big E and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs are taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. They're looking to go a perfect 6 for 6 on this homestand. Nathan MacKinnon 1 point away from hitting 1,000 points in his career. He would be the second ever player to score 1,000 points in an Avalanche jersey. Only Joe has done it. And he only got to 1,015. Very real possibility Nathan MacKinnon becomes the leading Colorado Avalanche scorer of all time this season.
Avs only, right?
Avs only. With Quebec, Joe has like 1,500.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Something crazy, but...
Got you.
So, could be exciting. Could be a little bit of a milestone tonight. It is Chicago, a team that for whatever reason the Avs seem to play close games against or struggle against a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Also, expecting a reasonable amount of lineup change. You'll hear from Jared Bednar in a little bit, but Eric Johnson is expected to draw in for Sam Malinsky. The Wedgwood is in for Blackwood. Not confirmed, but we're expecting a couple of changes on the forward side as well. How much of this is the Avs are on us back-to-back here? This is the front half of it, and the second game is Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, that's one. Two is they're healthy for once. I mean, they're healthy for once, and then they went added depth at the last few weeks, right? Even with Jack Drury and all that kind of dating back to that time. So wants to get everybody in. I get it. It does form a little bit of an internal competition. I love it. It could be that Parker Kelly's out tonight. Obviously, Malinsky's outplayed his best game of the year. Which is awesome. You know what I mean? So I think he was sat by Jared Bednar and said, hey, EJ's coming in tonight. You're going to play tomorrow night. So you can rest a few bodies like that. It does do a little bit of competition. Kelly was awesome. Is he in tonight? I don't think so. Same thing. Who's the best at killing penalties? Who's going to take charge? So you need to see some guys like the Nelsons of the world, the Coyles of the world, to get them out there on the PK. And then you're going to form your decision, on how to be ready for game one of the playoffs. But in the meantime, it forms a lot of competition internally. I love that. It brings the best out of guys. Miles Wood, if you're in the lineup tonight, let's go. Let's get going. The guys were going the last game. The fourth line was buzzing, so get going.
On the flip side of it, obviously Chicago has made some moves. Guys like Seth Jones out. But they also kept some guys like Donato that maybe people weren't expecting them to keep. Chicago wasn't a very good team to begin with. They're not any better. Yeah, it's cool. Artem Levshinov's in. Neat. Welcome to the NHL, rookie. I hope you get 6 dropped on your head. Look, I don't want to overstate it because, again, for whatever reason, the Avs just seem to struggle against Chicago sometimes, but there should be some motivation here, not just the competition you're talking about, but a team that's trying to go perfect on this homestand.
Absolutely.
A team that, where they stand now, is trying to chase down the Dallas Stars for home ice in round 1, right?
There's a buzz. I'm not going to lie to you, there's a buzz. There was a buzz at the rink this morning, you know what I mean? Like, now you're post-deadline. You see the TV guys from the visiting teams, and, they come out, holy crap, you know what I mean? If he doesn't win GM of the year, if he doesn't win, absolutely. What they did at this deadline was awesome. What they did all season long is awesome. You're talking about 9-10 new bodies to the lineup. It's absurd, but it was done in a good manner, in a nice fashion. It wasn't just panicking. It was all done with the right intentions. And I'll tell you one thing. It was exciting this morning to be there. It was exciting to look around and see the movements on the power play. It looks like Val and Nelson will be on PP1, and guys like Lecky and Drew that have been good lately on the power, but probably got to go to PP2. Now, does that give you 2 PPs? Probably does. Are they going to do it? I don't know. But we'll see. At the end of the day, it's exciting to be an Avalanche fan, and I think it's exciting to be an Avalanche player. So I'm looking forward to the game, just like I did last game. You did. We were excited to watch that game, see what the product is of like putting those guys together, having Manson healthy. So tonight's the same thing, and get after the Blackhawks that have been a little bit of a pain in your butt this year. So
a little bit.
I like it.
More than just this year. It feels like it's been a couple of years with them, to be honest. But look, I want to hold off on your three keys for a second. I know I might be dipping into some of those topics, but
that's all right.
When you look at this Chicago team and you look at the way the Avs are built, especially with these new guys, do you try to get a little bit of line matching tonight? Like, I know Bednar traditionally likes going best on best, but do you think about, hey, if I can sneak a good shutdown fourth line out against Bedard's line, there's not a whole lot else in this lineup, and we can let our big dogs eat a little bit.
You're bang on, because I think what they want to do, that's what you're seeing a little bit with the lineup changes, trying to see different things. And people are going to be like, well, you don't start experimenting when 19 games go. No, you actually do somehow, because this is the first time you've had access to a Nelson, a Coyle, now a healthy forward lineup that you really haven't had all year long, and now a healthy decor. So I think PK, PP, you're going to do some experiments. You have to see what's clicking, what's working. But you're right. Maybe you do want to match up a little bit. Maybe you do want to put Coyle against Connor Bedard or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you let the big dog go eat, with something else that is probably an easier prey. You know what I mean? To eat. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Maybe you'll see a little bit of that tonight, but it's certainly nice to have, as Coach Bednar hasn't had all year long, or Prater on the D side of things. It's kind of nice to look down the lineup and look in front of you and seeing all the possibilities that you can put out there. So it's certainly a different, again, I'm superstitious, you know that, but we'll keep doing that, and then hopefully everything's behind them and they can just get going now.
So let me ask you it like this then, because obviously it's crunch time. You're trying to win every single game, yada, 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 yada. Where do you draw that line of experimenting like you're talking about with some of the lines and pairings, as opposed to, okay, we need to go out and win this game?
Well, that's the tough part, because you got to win. I think they want to win every game. They want to get as many points as possible to catch Dallas, like you said, to catch Minnesota. Minnesota's still ahead right now?
No, the Avs are ahead.
The Avs are ahead. I apologize. Like I said, careful. Just went ahead. Try to see if you can catch and get some home ice. I think you got to put Winnipeg out of reach. You know what I mean? Somewhere, somehow, and then those points are important. You know what I mean? So you got it's a little bit of both, but it's also nice to have some fresh bodies, like you just talked about. Tomorrow, you probably have 4 fresh bodies in the lineup in a back-to-back. So there's a plus to everything. There's definitely a plus there's definitely a plus to that point that you're making.
And I think it's a luxury, right, that the Avs now have the bodies to get away with a little bit of that. It's not they need every guy every single night type of a situation anymore for Colorado. So,
but it makes you buzz a little bit, right? I felt last game.
You're all team competition.
You know what
for
I mean?
Sure.
Like
there was some emotion for sure.
Oh, some guys show some passion. Some guys show like, I better be going here. I won't be dressed next game. And I think that's what it does. And I think that's the message they're giving to everybody. So if you're seeing a couple new forwards tonight, it's more like that, in a sense that, hey, those guys performed last couple games. Tonight, they're not in the lineup. So you better perform or you won't be in the lineup. So I think it's good. It's good to challenge yourself. It's good to challenge players. And that's the team you have, right? This is the team you have. The deadline's over. There's no more nerves. There's no more like, oh my God, I might get traded, So This is where you're at. This is who we're going with. Let's see who wants to be in the lineup every night, and let's see who wants to be in the lineup game 1 to make a difference.
All right. Enough waxing poetical. Let's get into your 3 keys of the game. What do the Avs got to do? I think you're probably pretty confident tonight, as opposed to me, who I still do think the Avs should win, but how do they get it done?
I feel good about it. I think they come out flying. I think you touched on it a little bit. Key number 1, perfection. You have a shot at perfection. You make a lot of, mini games or whatever, like short-term goals as a team, and certainly before attacking this 6-game homestand, the biggest one of the year, I'm sure they sat down as a team and had some lofty goals for this homestand, and I'm sure it was mentioned. We mentioned it. We're like, let's go 6-0. So you have a shot at perfection tonight. Make it a perfect 6-0 homestand. Keep getting the points in the standings. They're so important. Keep rolling. When you win, you feel good about yourself. They're certainly streaking, they're wagging, whatever it is that they're doing tonight if they win at 6. But let's just be, victorious tonight, and let's keep that swinging a little bit. Be in the moment. Key number 2, Rudo always says, play the game that's in front of you. So don't underestimate this team. Details all over the ice. D-zone, neutral zone, offensive zone. Details. Even if the coach is tinkering with a couple things to see what they got, doesn't change the game, doesn't change your details, doesn't change your mindset. So bring it for 60. Get after him. Number 3, roll them in. You know what I mean? Like, roll them in, swarm them, and expose the Hawks with your 4 lines and 6 Ds. So roll your 4 lines, roll your 6 Ds, Let everybody get going in there. Very important to do your best as an individual to bring something to the team game. So roll 4 lines, roll 3 sets of Ds, roll them in all at once, and make sure you do your job and you get after them. In a game that, we'll talk about it, I believe the Avalanche should win and will win.
I love the confidence. I do think it's interesting. And there are a couple of ways to look at this, because obviously the Avs are 5-0 at this homestand. You feel great. You feel like things are rolling. But also, there's significant change to the lineup. Post-trade deadline, they're 1-0. With Brock Nelson, with Charlie Coyle in the lineup, they're 1-0. So when you talk about those things, it's about bringing that consistency that maybe the Avs have lacked for significant portions of this season, right? And to me, at least in the immediate, or at least in this back-to-back, it's less about, oh, well, these guys they brought in make you so much better, X, Y, Z. It's more about how much can they raise your floor, not your ceiling. Because we don't want to see those games where the Avs fall back into the habit of, oh, you only scored 1 goal, so you lost. Stop doing that. And, obviously, on this homestand, they've scored a minimum of 4 in every single game. So they've done a good job of that. But you need to be able to play repeatable hockey.
Yeah, and I think it was important last game to see, for example, Nelson get on the board, get a big point there. It was important to see Charlie Coyle get a big point, get a nice assist. Was it Drew? Yeah, it was Drew's goal, right? Yeah, Drew's goal. It was important for those two to really solidify the center ice position, and that we talked about, that they're able to get some points on the board where it's been lacking at times this year. But you're right. I love that. It's important to raise the floor. Not worried about the ceiling, because we all know what MacKinnon can do. We all know what McCarr can do. We all know what the power play can do. It was important to raise the floor. And I think that by raising the floor, it pushes everybody, the Kellys of the world, the Kivy the Cat, of the world, to really get going, to get involved offensively. You can't just sit back. But I do believe there was a lot of passion. I think there's been a lot of passion this homestand, a lot more than they've had before. I think they've created their own energy a couple times. Tonight is one of those nights too, because Chicago's not going anywhere. Chicago's deciding who's going to go to World Championships here coming up. I mean, there's no pressure. So you might have to create your own passion, your own energy, because it's one game at a time. Tomorrow night's an important game, but you got to play tonight. Tonight is what's in front of you. You say it all the time. I said it in the keys. You got to play the game in front of you. And there's competition now. I know I'm repeating myself, but man, oh man, when you have healthy bodies and you start counting, and what do I tell you all the time? Don't count. Don't count. If you start counting and you're a forward or a D, you'll never play in this league, because you're always analyzing like, oh my God. But at the end of the day right now, it's human nature. There's so many jerseys you can put on. There's a few of them that don't have jerseys every night now, and you got to be in the press box. If you care, which I do believe they all care, well, everyone's going to get going. Everyone's going to want a jersey, and do your best and make sure that you elevate your game, elevate the floor to make sure that you're in the lineup every night.
Look, I think it's pretty straightforward. Do you want to be in the lineup every night? Yes. But also, do you want to play for a cup contender? if you want to play for a cup contender and you're a fourth liner, guess what? You got to go earn it every night because there are a bunch of guys that want your job on a team deep enough to win a Stanley Cup.
Absolutely, and I think that, Brock Nelson, you're a big second line center coming in with Valen, and you want to show Chris McFarland and the Avalanche front office and your new teammates that they made the right choice by coming to get you. If you're Charlie Coyle, you want to make sure you're doing the same thing. You bring the troops down on that third line, whoever it might be on the wing with them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sure who it is tonight, whatever. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, who knows what it's going to be like. They're going to be tinkering with that. I know Colton's going to be with them, but you want to bring down, guys in the fight. And I think it's important that the fourth line always has some energy, some buzzing. So, yeah, there's a lot of pressure for guys that, Lindgren that was just brought in, and, EJ now making his debut tonight, making sure he brings what he brings, which is some leadership. And he said it. He's probably not going to get dressed every night. So what? There's a lot you can do. I tell you all the time, there's a lot you can do in the locker room, on the bus, on the plane, between periods, on practice days. There's a lot you can do to make sure that there's some calm waters out there when it gets rocky a little bit. You need a guy that's been there, an older guy. Even just tell Mac, for example, hey, let's breathe a little bit here. You know what I mean? EJ's that guy. And then you make sure that other guys that have never done it, then you can actually bring them along and push them along to make sure you get to the common goal, which is to win it all.
Just to confirm, as the Avs did announce their lineup, VC and Wood drawing in on that fourth line, so LOC and Kelly with the night off. Bednar talked about some of the changes and why they're doing it. So let's hear it from Coach Bednar right now for pregame morning skate.
All right, go ahead. Questions for Jared?
Looked like Brock Nelson to the top power play unit. What are you looking for with that switch there?
Well, I just think like this is an elite player in this league, and Drew's done a great job there. And power play's rolling a little bit, but we don't have a lot of season left, although we have a significant amount. But we want to see what that power play looks like there. He's also a shooter, so it's nice to have another shooter on that flank. I mean, it's a guy that scored 30-plus goals for the last 3 years. So, yeah, just trying to get the best mix of guys we can possibly get on that top unit.
Out of curiosity, we talk about when new players arrive about their performance on the ice, but how do you help them maybe off the ice navigate family life and places to live and stuff like that?
Well, we got a great support group and people that can help them. So Aaron DeGraff does a lot of that stuff. I think the front office, the players give a lot of input, and like lots of these players, when they came, they were looking for places to live. Realtors, within the organization, there's a lot of connections that can kind of help them out, and we try to get them as comfortable as possible. And I think the rest is a little bit up to their teammates, to make them feel at home and kind of integrate them into how we want to do things around here. And they're excited to join in and learn and sort of get up to speed so they can contribute the best they can with just focusing on what they have to do on the ice.
Coach, I asked Brock Nelson about how excited he was to have be able to play in a game tonight where he's not coming off being traded, the night before and things like that. Just for you now having a couple days with all these new guys, are you looking forward to seeing a little bit of what you guys have been able to work out the last couple of days?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had a day off yesterday, so it's not going to be a whole lot different, but we did get to sit down with both Charlie and Brock and EJ on the penalty kill stuff. So we used them, a significant amount the other night, all those guys, but I don't think we used them to their full potential, right? So, Brock's making his way onto the power play. He's had some power play meetings. Both those guys will kill some penalties tonight for us because we want them to get the reps, practice, and in games, and so we can make the right decisions on how to deploy our guys, So we have some experimenting to do, but we still got to play to win. And, so we'll see how all those guys do and how they sort of fit into the mix in both special teams, 5-on-5, line combinations, all that, But one thing I'd like to see tonight is I thought our team played with really good energy. There was an excitement about the game with all the new guys coming in, and it was a big game against Toronto, and I want us to keep that excitement throughout the course of the last part of the year here.
How exciting is that to know that you haven't put the new players in those positions to play to their full potential, but you still had a great game from them in their first outing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting because these guys, some of these, like Charlie played a huge role in the penalty kill in Boston for years, and he's used in a bunch of different aspects of the game, and I think he can help our penalty kill, even though the guys that we've had here have done an excellent job so far, especially in the second half of the season. So I think, it's letting the guys that have been here continue to do what they've been doing while mixing in Charlie and et cetera, and still being able to rest guys to come out of the power play. So we have more options now, but it's certainly exciting because they bring some strengths that I think can help our team in different areas and different situations of the game.
Having the ability to rest guys, having the ability to kind of slot Brock on the top power play unit, knowing you still have a second unit that has some good options like this. Are you kind of getting that vibe from a few years ago where you're able to experiment down the stretch just to kind of have all the options?
Well, we're in a tighter fight, right? So, but yes, it's my job to try and balance, not just playing to get the results, but also still finding out what we need to find out about our team and making sure, one very important thing for me is I want to keep everybody involved. There's no use having the depth if you're not going to use it. There's no use, if guys sit out too long, then they get disinterested a little bit, even though they'll fight that mentally on their own. I just think you want to keep everyone connected and thinking as a team and keeping the big picture in mind. And then, so that's a balancing act for me. But we have a lot of hockey yet to be played and a little bit of a busy schedule with some back-to-back. So being able to not overtax guys, and if guys have nagging injuries that they can come out of the lineup so we're playing healthy and rested group, I think is an advantage.
MacKinnon has talked a couple of times now about the significance of bringing in older, experienced players. He said, I don't think you can really win with young players. Do you share in that assessment about the value of older players? There's
a lot of value in experienced guys, guys that have been there, done that. They don't shy away from the moment. They have all those experiences to lean on, especially if they're quality players. I don't think age is the only factor, but when you're adding guys in like Coyle and Nelson and EJ, guys that are still really good players and good at what they do, I do think that is invaluable. Yeah.
You talked about guys fighting the mental part of not playing in a long time. How important is it to get EJ in here early? He hasn't played since early February.
Yeah, so it's important. Yeah, again, we want to get everyone involved and keep everyone involved. So 23 guys or 24 guys pulling on the rope in the same direction is better than 20. That's just the way I see it. So again, we'll try and plan our games ahead and then be flexible with it depending on how guys are playing. And a prime example tonight, I'll give you one piece of lineup information. I'm not going to give our lineup every night, but Sam Malinsky played his best game maybe as an Av last game. He's going to be out tonight, and EJ's going to go in. But as long as I relay what I saw and communicate with him so he knows why he's coming out of the lineup and what my plan is for him moving forward, tentative plan is for him moving forward, then he's going to have to be okay with it. He's a good team guy. He understands it, and I want to get EJ involved, and I want to get him involved soon, and so he can continue to sort of gel with their team, so he's going to go in tonight.
Coach, how nice is it just to have a fully healthy lineup? It's been such a year with the injuries and the next man up kind of.
I think it's imperative if you want to finish as high as you can finish that you're healthy. So it's I think, maybe fans or media times and people outside the game that are just watching underestimate the importance of being available, and having a healthy lineup. I think if you look at any team for short periods of time, you can overcome injuries and maybe get the results that you would expect from your whole group. But I think over time you need to be healthy to do that. I think if you look at teams that get banged up and then look at what their record is over an extended period of time, it's not as good as what it would have been with everybody healthy, and we're no different. Just the addition of Val in our lineup and the difference he makes is it's hard to explain, really. And then you're without other guys, and now you get healthy. You have to take advantage of it, though. You have to play your best hockey when you're healthy and make hay when the sun shines.
Last ones, guys. Good. Thank you.
Thanks.
I knew you'd like that one.
So there you go. It's crunch time. Bednar trying to figure out every angle he's got with his lineups before the playoffs do hit. You saw the starting lineup there. E, pick a name in that lineup. Give me some numbers.
I'm going good tonight. I'm going 6-1 W for the good guys. And I am going with, man, I'm going Brock Nelson with a double.
All
That's
right.
2 for you.
I thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. I wasn't sure.
That's my goal. That's my pick.
I don't mind the 6-1. I can ride on the 6-1.
All right.
I'm good with that. I'm going to take, let me think. I want to say Nathan MacKinnon, but that's a cop-out tonight.
Yeah, I know.
McKinnon's getting a
He
point
does
tonight.
get it.
Yeah,
I mean, he
for
does
sure.
get his
For
1,000
sure.
point. early.
Instead, I'll go with this side of it. All right? You know who we haven't seen a ton out of? I want some Sammy Gerard love tonight.
Oh, I like that.
He's
my
back with his
boy.
old buddy EJ. So
My boy.
he's going to be fired up. He's going to go ham with EJ with him out there.
All right.
That's where I'm at with it. I'm taking Sammy. On the MacKinnon 1,000 point thing, by the way, if he does get it, I'm not saying we have a new shirt, but we might have a new shirt. I'm just saying.
Not the old one.
Not this one. Although you can get this one too at the ALLCITY store. Make sure you go check it out.
I still
But
got my
there might be a new MacKinnon shirt ready to roll. Yeah, all hail Kale. Pretty good shirt. Pretty good shirt, too.
guy.
If Mac does get there. So keep your eyes peeled post-game if things go the right way for MacKinnon. 16-2. I'm here for that.
Imagine that. Mercy rule.
Yeah.
Three pass before you can shoot. No, I'm kidding. Got to respect the Blackhawks. You do.
Yeah, you got to take them seriously, but it's a team that you should be capable of,
I agree.
especially post-deadline, a team that you really should be taking care of business with.
I agree.
Put it to you that way. Let's get to my pregame picks with Bet365, where it's never ordinary. I took a couple of good money bets. That's for the most part what I looked at tonight, because it's hard to find good money bets against a team like Chicago. One, I took a Nuke power play point at plus 300. He's expected to be on the top unit tonight. Come on. That's good money. I took Mac to score in the first, just get that 1,000 out of the way. And then I took a little boosted parlay bet. Mac, Natchez, and Bertuzzi all with 3+ shots on goal for plus 1,100. Not terrible. Not terrible out here. Make sure you go get your bets in with Bet365, whether you're following mine or different ones. Go do it today with the DNVR 365 code. And, of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right. We are closing in on puck drop time here. We are going to wrap this one a little bit early because we have to go set up for the watch-along upstairs. We're in Studio B for that one today. Come join us for the watch-along if you want to, or if the post-game is more your thing, make sure you tune in after the game, where we will break it all down for you no matter what happens. So enjoy the game, and hopefully we'll talk to you in a few minutes. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show.
We all silly like the mayor.